This right here is one of my actual largest dividend growth portfolios that's worth around, as of current, $523,000. Now in this video, we are going to be doing a complete portfolio review because I have been buying a lot more stocks and ETFs as of recently, and we are also going to be going through every single dividend that I received in this portfolio in the month of June. Now we are going to go through all this and more. Right after you, please drop a like in this video and subscribe for future content like this. So inside the portfolio, I sorted all of the positions by the highest amount of market value all the way to the least amount of market value. And we're going to be walking through every single position. And I'm even going to give some thoughts, if I have any, on the certain position, whether it's a stock or ETF. Now, if you're new around here, this is just one of my portfolios. I do have portfolios on other brokerages as well, but I do like to spread them out and I do like to use multiple platforms. So the first position, the largest position still in this portfolio, is going to be my 1,000 shares of Apple, which my cost basis is around $118,000. And these 1,000 shares of Apple are currently worth around $191,000. Now, when it comes to these shares of Apple, I've talked pretty openly about it as of recently that I'm actually most likely planning on selling all these shares of Apple towards the end of this year and using the money to go all in on the SCHD ETF, or maybe spread it around to some various ETFs or maybe some more single holdings. But since Apple's up so much in share price and the dividend is just so low, for my particular strategy, being more of an income focused investor, looking for stocks that do have capital appreciation but also pay a decent dividend, I think I will likely be selling some of my Apple, if not all of it, very soon here. Now my next biggest position is Realty Income. I have 763 shares of Realty Income as of right now. My cost basis on Realty Income is around $44,000 and it's pretty much sitting at $45,000. Now in this portfolio, even though I have 763 shares of Realty Income throughout my other portfolios, I think altogether as last count, I do have somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 shares of Realty Income as of right now. And before the end of this year, I'll probably likely buy at least a few hundred more. I'm trying my best to really get that monthly dividend from Realty Income up to the $500 and then hopefully the $1,000 per month milestone over the next few years or so. The next biggest position in this portfolio is my 1,092 shares of Devo. Now Devo is a pretty awesome ETF, and if you haven't looked into it as of yet, definitely take some time and look into it. Devo's holdings and the strategy that it employs is pretty favorable for my strategy with investing, so I do hold quite a bit of Devo in this portfolio, and I hold a lot more throughout my other portfolios as well. My next biggest position is my shares of Verizon. I have 1,000 shares of Verizon, and I'm down quite a bit on this position. This might be my biggest position as far as loss, as far as paper loss at least. I'm down $17,000. But keep in mind, I have received Verizon's massive $600 or $700 per quarter dividend for many, many years now. And on top of that, I've sold covered calls against these 1,000 shares. So I have made back some of the money. I would hope to think that I'm maybe down net somewhere around 5 to 10,000. But to be honest, either way, I'm not planning on selling any of my Verizon shares anytime soon. So it really doesn't matter too much to me. My next largest position is my JEPI shares in this portfolio. I have 671 shares of JEPI. Now, JEPI is another position that I do hold across multiple portfolios. And although JEPI hasn't had the best dividends over the last few months, I do think long-term JEPI strategy is pretty decent. The holdings are obviously very strong. And although I probably won't buy any more of JEPI anytime soon, I think I'll definitely hold on to it. Next up, we have 503 shares of BST, the BlackRock Science Fund. I haven't bought any more shares of this one as of recently, but I will hold on to it long term. I'm down quite a bit on it, $4,400. But again, I'm getting paid around $0.25 per share a month, and I'm looking to hold on to BST for a while now. The next position is 631 shares of EPD, or Enterprise Product Partners. Now, this is one of my favorite high yielders. I seem to think that it's a very safe high yielder in the world of higher yield single stock picking. So EPD is one of my favorites. I probably hold around 1,000 shares across my portfolios. The next largest position is Q Yield. I have 820 shares of QYLD in this portfolio. Another one I've been holding on to for years. I'm actually pretty surprised on how well Q Yield has recovered in the past few months, I guess in the past 6 months or so. But Q Yield is another one that I've been holding on to for a while, and I don't plan on selling anytime soon. Next up, we have 100 shares of JP Morgan, JPM. JP Morgan actually just announced a dividend increase of 5 cents per share, so that really helps out with my monthly, quarterly dividend projections, so that's pretty awesome. Next up, we have 295 shares of JEPQ. Now JEPQ is a little bit newer position, and I have added a lot of JEPQ over the last month or so. JEPQ is very similar to JEPI, only it does have more of a growth aspect. And in my portfolio, even though I am more of an income-focused investor, I do like JEPQ strategy, and if you haven't looked into JEPQ as of yet, look into it. Next up, we got 1,661 shares of BlackRock Enhanced Equity Dividend Trust, or BDJ. This is another long-term holding. I haven't really added too much more BDJ as of recently, but I have held onto these shares for a very long time now. Next up, SEHD, of course, one of my favorites. I'm up to 144 shares of SEHD, and I've been adding SEHD pretty much on the daily basis. Across all my portfolios, I'm probably sitting somewhere around 400 or 500 shares of SEHD, but that's a position that's very important, and like I said earlier, I might very soon sell off some of my Apple and redistribute it into this dividend ETF. Next up, we have OHI. We have 300 shares of OHI. We have 185 shares of QYield, 208 shares of Stake Industrial. We have 215 shares of NUSI, 102 shares of National Retail Properties. We got some UPS, 24 shares of that, 442 of MPW, 47 shares of P&W. We have 83 shares of Altria, 419 of ETJ, 77 shares of Vici, 16 shares of Extra Storage Space, 23 shares of VNQ. This is the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, and it's yielding above 4% right now, I think. This is one I have been adding more of as of recently. I've also been adding a lot more Main Street Capital. In this portfolio, I only have around 40 shares or so, 48 shares. But throughout my other portfolios, I have been adding Main Street Capital pretty aggressively. Then we have 15 shares of SPG. We have 78 shares of BUI, WPC, WP Carry, another one I've been adding a lot on my other portfolios. In this portfolio, I have 24 shares, but across all my portfolios, I think I might be somewhere close to around 200 shares or more of WPC at this time. Then we have Walgreens, 50 shares, QQQX, 42 shares, KMI, 59 shares. We have 6 shares of T-Row. We got 4 shares of DLR, 14 shares of UTG. We have 10 shares of HRZN, and then we have 10 shares of RQI, 4 shares of CEFD, 1 share of SPHD, 10 shares of AWP, and 2 shares of ABR. So that is my entire portfolio on this platform. Comment down below any holdings that you hold that I also hold in this portfolio. Next, I want to go through and share with you all every single dividend that I was paid in the month of June. So first of all, we have a $245 dividend that came in on the 6th from JEPI. We also had a $3.84 dividend that came in from JEPQ. We had a Walgreens dividend of $24. We had a $1.10 dividend from Horizon. Realty income, we're up to $166.01. That's where we're up to in this portfolio. And like I said, across all my portfolios, I think I'm well past now $200-300 per month. But my next goal is to get past $500 per month just from realty income alone. Then we have $25.45 from Stake Industrial, Main Street Capital, $10.80, CEFD, 80 cents, SPHD, 16 cents. Then in June, we got our SCHD dividend, $91.73. The NUSI dividend of $30.21, XYLD 60.57, QYLD 144.98. Then we got 732 from T-Row, we got 488 from DLR, 266 from UTG, SPG paid us 27.75, AWP paid us 40 cents, BDJ paid us our 93.35, BUI $9.44, BST paid us 125.75, RQI 80 cents, ETJ paid us 24.26. Then we got EXR 25.92, and lastly Devo paid us 154.76. So there we have it, guys. There's a quick little update of all the holdings in my largest dividend stock and ETF portfolio as of right now, and all the dividends that we were paid in the month of June. Comment down below any similar holdings that you saw during this video that you also hold. I'm pretty curious. And also comment down below any dividend goals that you currently have. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in the video and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.